What's up? What's up, y'all? Hope y'all hear me. Make sure. All right. I know it's pre-Saint Pat, and I know this weekend is a weekend. Everybody outside looks like it's snowing a little bit. Um, but I wanted to hop on here because I have a little bit more followers. So I'm gonna do a live and then maybe do a short video as well. But the people who do watch my lives, I wanted to get more in depth with you guys so you can understand because um, I'm just getting a lot of like people who don't come and stand with us, haven't been in the forefront, um, can't get you to stand, can't get you to stand with me anywhere, but it's midterms coming up, and everybody got a lot to say about who we endorsed and try to make us feel bad about who we endorsed and things like that. So I gotta reintroduce who I am. And I want to reintroduce who I am with my connection with a man by the name of Dick Gregory. Okay. Now, Dick Gregory was a comedian. He was an entrepreneur. He was an actor. He was a writer. He was someone that I was interested in to get to know. Um, and when the activist part stopped, when he started doing the activist, because people knew him as comedy, but when he did activist, I think it didn't. It was too before our time. It was too before his time. Like he did everything right as far as bringing everybody together. It's just that he didn't have loyal soldiers with him to bring it on through. And then the ones that were loyal, they killed. So, he was the one that was able to sit down with Malcolm X. He was the one who was able to sit down with Dr. King. He was the one that was able to sit down with John Lennon. He got to sit down with Bob Marley. He was the common denominator that he was able to sit down with everybody. He's seen it all. They were at the height of the movement. He's the reason why, and Bill Cosby will say this. The reason why Bill Cosby got his start in comedy is because Dick Gregory went and started participating in the movement. That when people were calling for him to do certain shows or certain things, he wouldn't do it. So between him, Bill Cosby, and Barbara Streisand will have the same story. She'll say, if it wasn't for Dick Gregory, my career wouldn't have started, because a lot of stuff that she understands, she was Jewish too. So a lot of stuff back then, they were not given to everybody. So while Dick Gregory went and fought the movement because he saw who he was, and he saw he had also like a big connection to Chicago. Um, he's from St. Louis, born and raised in St. Louis, and then he came here for college. And the Herman Roberts, shout out to Herman Roberts. He had a hotel here, and he had a nightclub here, and he had his own cab service, and he would Dick Gregory will perform. Now, the story is that Hugh Hefner will go into the South Side and come get the talent and start bringing them downtown. So Hugh Hefner, he had the Playboy Club at the time. He went and sorted out Dick Gregory and brought Dick Gregory downtown. So Dick Gregory would perform down there and paid down there and stuff like that. Then he went on the Jack Parr show. He was the first black person to sit on the couch. First black person to sit on the couch. Usually you can go and perform, but you couldn't sit on the couch. And he refused to perform because he wasn't going to be able to sit on the couch. So Jack Parr called him up and told him, I would like you to come on my show, and yes, you can sit on the couch. He sat on the couch. So little wins like that. Little wins like that is what's getting us to equality, right? Because that wasn't equality if no black person can come and sit on tonight's chair, but they can come and perform. And that's, we sort of going like a little bit backwards, and we're doing that with the foreigners. Basically, we going about to work for foreigners in a country that we built and put together. And I say everybody. Okay, so that one. Okay, cool. So after he got in the movement and stuff, and he he was in Watts, he got shot in Watts, California. Did a lot of stuff in Chicago. He was independent, trying to get liberated, all those things. He started his political career by running against Richard J. Daley, mayor of Chicago in 1967, right? And he ran as an independent. Now, if we were ready to go independent, he was a write-in candidate, Freedom and Peace Party. I'm pretty sure he should have won. Especially, yeah, he should have won. If we were ready for that. But maybe not, because he had to be a write-in candidate, and a lot of people don't know how to write. So I don't know. But I do know that he got 47,000 votes. Then he ran for president of the United States of America. And people always say, and he says also, that he won the state of Pennsylvania. A lot of people voted for him. He won the state of Pennsylvania, but they cheated. That's the first election they rigged. Well, that it was talked about, right? And he ran as an independent. Then you got a whole bunch of vultures around that don't want us to really be liberated, because they make money off of our oppression, our pain, like the Jamal Bryant now. They took the page out of the Jesse Jackson Shakedown book. And we have never progressed at all. And we haven't progressed because of the leadership that we have in office. And it could be for both sides. You understand? But it also goes to the elites, the boulets, the people who believe they went to college and they got their degree and that stuff, that they feel like they can talk down to us. And if I had to work, I had to get my degree, you better get your degree too, and stuff like that. And has put a barrier where we can't get ahead. And we can't get ahead because we are not politically aligned. We don't care about civics. We don't want to know about civics. And all y'all see is white and black, white and black, white and black. So you will keep until you feel like the Democratic Party is supposed to have your back, because you have all these black people in leadership. And again, look at our communities. Look at our communities. So if we were ready for the change, Dick Gregory would have been in politics. Dick Gregory would have been in politics, and he would have been in politics as an independent if we were ready. Because at that time, we had Muhammad Ali behind him. He had a lot of people, Jim Brown, Ozzie Davis and Ozzie and Ruby. You had Sidney Poitier. You had Medgar Evers. You had, like I said, King. You had Malcolm X. You had I don't know who else. We had the blueprint of everything. We already had the blueprint of how we prevailed slavery to get to where we are now. We already are walking for our right. We're cool that we segregated. We all right that we're segregated. However, you're not. We don't have. We need the same resources as everyone else gets. So then integration happens. We integrated, but for some reason, when the government integrated all the way, the Maxine Waters, the Jim Clyburns, the man, go on and on. I mean, it's a whole bunch of them, but they got in. They had the pastors. You had the leader. You had the civil rights leaders who all got in government and never made sure that our community, while they was stealing all their money for what they wanted and what they was getting and making sure their family was good and getting their people jobs, they forgot about the hood. They forgot about our children in our children that's in there. I mean, in the hood that don't aspire to be a government worker, because that's something that they always used to tell us too. Yeah, get yourself up and get you a little government job. Yeah, get you a government job, and then now you with the system, and now you don't care about our communities because y'all in there stealing. And then the ones who are really in government because they really do understand transparency and understand how the government works and how the government is supposed to work for everybody. They might be in there with somebody who just got the job because their mother got to the job and they don't know nothing. They don't know what they're doing at all. They have no idea what they're doing. So then you got to work with somebody like that. So then incompetence gets into government. And then so much incompetence has gotten into government and we not paying attention. And then you getting mad at people like Dick Gregory. When Dick Gregory used to go off, on people. I don't know why he acting like that. Because how do we keep modern day? We keep getting to where we need to get to, and then we just don't it's like we the only ones. We the only ones in the country. The only ones in the country that just can't get it together. Just can't get it together. And then when you talk to some people be like, well, that's because we call each other black. See, that's why. It doesn't matter if you call yourself. You got trans people out here getting more stuff than the average black person. What is a trans woman? So I don't want to hear y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm trying to tell I might be a genius. I might be a genius. Because ain't nowhere in the world we are this slow, fam. We are this slow, but we're selfish as hell. We are selfish. We are a selfish group of people. And that's the problem. That's the problem. But let me get back into it. So anyway, I'm going to play this video. Y'all don't know who Dick Gregory is, you guys really should look him up.
If you don't have a small business, then you have nobody to work for you. And I would say to young blacks, get into entrepreneurship. We will never catch up with white America till we get into business, because there's a thing called tax write-offs. And if you have a job and come together, 10 of you, and open up a corporation and have somebody run it, you hiring somebody to run it, but you have tax write-offs. 98% of people that fly first class on airplanes would not be there if that wasn't a write-off. And yet, on that first class, they gave away last year $800 million, almost $1 billion of free whiskey. But if a welfare mother asked for some apple juice for the baby, she's laughed at. And so I would say entrepreneurship, and then understand that we will never survive as a group until we get into communities and not neighborhoods. A community is, I control the police, the banks, the schools, the firefighters, and I control the flow of the money. And I have no problem when I go in a Jewish neighborhood and the shop owners are Jewish, and I go into an Italian neighborhood and shop owners are Italian. I have a problem when I come in a black neighborhood and the shop owners is not me. A Korean has a right to come in and buy my shop for $30 million more than it's worth. That's good business. But if we decide that we're not going to do business with that one, then he'll have to sell it back, or she'll sell it back to a black person for $1 million. And then the money circulates, and that's how you change. We've been so busy dealing with the hurt and the pain and the misery and glamorizing a hand few that have made it, that we have never really looked at, like they say, your role model. If you haven't got a role model in your house, you should fall on your knees and pray to God, because something is wrong. And so I would say to young folks, it's not about alcohol, but it's hard for me to say that to you when a 5-year-old got to reach past mama's beer and papa's wine to get some mayonnaise. I would also say to young folks that the number one drug that will wipe you out is not cocaine, it's not heroin, it's marijuana. And they deliberately make that a recreation drug, but it stays in the muscles, it stays in the blood, and it will wipe out your memory bank. And also, this is the first time in the history of TB that TB has always been known as poor folks. It's the first time that TB is not running rampant in the ghetto. It's running rampant in middle income white America, because it's the marijuana that they spray, and that's no accident. And so I would just say to young folks, you have to reevaluate everything you've been taught. I would say to the black folks that just because a black person is 90 years old don't mean they have wisdom, and you need to listen to them, because if you was dumb and stupid when you was 9, you dumb and stupid when you 90.
Dick, what is the formula for X?
Woo! Now that is my role model. I managed Dick Gregory for 4 years. I met Mr. Gregory in October of 2013, and I worked with him until the year he passed away. This is when I say I went to Dick Gregory University, I have a doctorate in Dick Gregory University. Like, this is my mentor, role model. Like, we have to get in community. And we have to be about faith, family, freedom, and economics. Education right now is our regular. Now I'm talking about college, because the way that the route that we're heading, it ain't gonna be no colleges, because ain't no kids gonna be able to excel. All you're gonna have are little baby organizers organizing for the Democratic Party to keep getting back in office, stealing money, taxing. When you go into that voting booth, just think about how many taxes that we have. They taxing you so much, they're taxing you out of Illinois. Literally. 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 Dick Gregory was loved by all. He was loved by all. He helped all. But he definitely made sure to help us. But they silenced Dick Gregory, the government. The government played with his money. They had him on the IRS until the day he died because they couldn't kill him because he knew so much. And he was well loved, admired. Every business that he had, the Bohemian Diet, he did hunger strikes. They took his home, they took his farm, they took everything because all he was trying to do was help us get liberated. And you had the people like Jesse Jackson and others who allowed him to owe the IRS until the day he died. Why y'all didn't shake down the IRS? Why y'all didn't shake down the IRS? Why didn't you shake down the government for making sure that they don't touch his finances? Dick Gregory was a legend. He stuck his neck out on the line. He could have been just like all the other careless entertainers. That's why he always say entertainers ain't nothing but SHIT. He always say that. These entertainers ain't nothing but SHIT. He saw it firsthand. I'm seeing it firsthand. Block you. You sound stupid. Yeah. Yeah. So going back to that, hold on. Let me go. My man right here. Great picture. That's one of my favorite pictures. Always be with him. I have millions of pictures. Our last trip in Chicago, Ja Grill. I'll never go in back in Ja Grill, but Ja Grill. Fuck with Ja. I used to bring a lot of people in Ja Grill. My mother took this picture of us sleeping on a train from Virginia heading to Philadelphia. Sold out show from Virginia heading to Philadelphia. He always liked riding the train. Always like riding the train. I'm gonna show you this one. Um, this one right here. This one is a special one too. I tell people they should look at. All right, let me get this one. Yeah.
You have to stand out so that the speaker book.
All right, folks, we continue our post-election analysis, talking to with our Wisdom of the Elders segment. And so we had Reverend Jackson on Monday, Clarence Jones, MLK's attorney on Tuesday, joining us today, civil rights activist, comedian, Dick Gregory. How you doing, my brother?
I'm fantastic, having fun.
Absolutely.
Feel good.
This path forward. Yes. Folks are apoplectic, upset, mad, angry.
Anytime you vote for the lesser of the two evils, you evil yourself. That's how Hitler came to power. Okay? We don't see that. But you got to be evil. Here's a guy who rapes a woman once a month, another guy rapes a woman once a day, and you got to pick one to babysat for you. You're evil. And that's what America, that's how Hitler came to power. See, few people know Hitler won that election by 288 votes. Okay? And almost wiped the world out. So you can get by with that with the church, but you can't get by with that with the universe that made the moon, the sun, and the stars. And that's where we are.
You got people who are concerned in terms of where do we go from here?
You don't go nowhere. It's not your business. That's your business. If you ever saw Trump's television shows, brilliant. So how you get so stupid all at once? If I went to apply for a job collecting garbage, they would ask me to bring in my last year's tax return. You run for president, you don't have to bring his in, and y'all tolerate it and don't know where it's going? That's what it's about. That's what it's about.
What do you say to that activist, to that young person, to that elder who's saying, okay, what do I do for the next 4 years?
You can do nothing. You're not going to make 4 years. This country won't make 4 years. It's over.
Now, when you say it's over, what does that mean?
It means decline. The Romans, the Greeks, the Egyptians, all of them fell. Okay? All of them fell. You see it.
So what should we do? Because Jim over here talks about the resistance.
Please.
They had the resistance with even going against Hitler.
Please. The Jews didn't know what Hitler was doing. Okay? Our problem is we think we're part of this government, and you're not.
Yes, sir.
We want to take the Democrats and Republicans, but when Condoleezza Rice came in, she had more PhDs than the whole administration had, and they called her Condi. They never called Madam Maddie. See, there's a soda pop darker than her called Dr. Pepper. If you go get one, you better call it by its title, or they give you a chili pepper. That's what it's about.
You look at the people who he's already putting on his transition team, and it's amazing to me watching mainstream media lose their mind. Oh my goodness. And I'm sitting there going, he made it clear what he said during the campaign, what he was going to do. Why y'all acting shocked now?
Yeah, but my mother was the same way. She went to the doctor and she said, if you find cancer, don't tell me. That's what white Americans do. If you find it, don't tell me. They didn't just get like that all at once. You got high school students marching, huh? The question need to be asked, how y'all leave school with no permit, huh? Because if you had a child on one of those marches and they got killed by a car, the school got to pay you. That's not the easy thing to do, but they did, huh? Marched by the White House, and nobody saying anything. Principal told them to go out and demonstrate in the playground. No. Everything you seeing, something's wrong with it. Okay, something's wrong with it.
Do you think that we're going to continue to see more of these protests? They've been happening every single day all across the country.
Yeah, because most of them are staged. You know, I've been protesting all my life. I got 10 children, 13 grandchildren. They just don't get up one morning and say, I'm going to demonstrate. The easiest thing in the world to find out what a child going to do, because they talk. I mean, we're stupid enough in America to believe the Ku Klux Klan determined public policy. Most of them can't read. Most of them can't write. And when I got ready to run away from slavery, the sheriff gonna ask me for my letter from Gotcha P. I just take any letter because they couldn't read. Show it to them. you know, this is what this is about. But we so filthy ourselves, huh? I spent millions of dollars. Walk out with my life. I got to go too. I'm just as dirty as they are. When I get on the plane next week and go to Budapest, round trip, first class, $42,000. I pay tax on that, which buys bullets, which drop on little children. So when they fall on your children, why are you upset? That's what this is about.
Jim.
Well, this is a moment where racial bigotry and autocracy come together. That's why the moment is so, he's a racial bigot and an autocrat. So I think we need a pledge of resistance. I think clergy need to go to sheriff's offices and say, if you're not going to be held accountable by Washington, clergy will hold you accountable for your policing in this town. When they register Muslims, Christians and Jews should be in line registering as Muslims. When they want to arrest undocumented people, we should force them to arrest them inside our churches and not home alone. There's got to be a pledge of resistance.
I mean, in fact, you see the police chief in LA who said, we're not going to help you when it comes to rounding up.
The mayor of Minneapolis said last night, we're not going to help you. So we got to do resistance. So to me, it's faith, resistance, healing, yes. But you start with resistance. This is a moment for resistance, and we all got to make our own pledge of resistance.
Kickstart your day at 7 and get the news you.
Now, that was Trump's first time. That was Trump's first term. And nobody didn't understand what Trump was doing. Nobody. But do you see how they planned everything from that priest before I cut it off? What he said. And look what they're doing at Broadview. Look what they're doing everywhere. We honestly were not paying attention to anything. Anything. And I always say, people always ask me all the time. Well, someone asked me the other day, do you think that Dick Gregory would be proud of you? Yes. Because I was never afraid to speak up to Dick Gregory. If I felt something didn't make sense or something like that, I used to tell him that. I also would have broke down this whole situation, but he also would have understood, because the illegal immigration invasion, everybody saw that it was a problem except Rainbow Push, except Operation Push, and NAACP, Urban League, any of these black places, any of these black organizations didn't see any issue with them opening up the border and bringing all these people over here. And they defend all of this. They defended all of this. All of this. And yes, the government doesn't recognize us. You know why the government doesn't recognize us? Because we don't care if the government recognizes. The government gonna recognize me. The government recognizes Chicago Fits Red right now. My president recognizes Chicago Fits Red right now. Now, the people that may work inside of the government and inside that want to play this game to keep it, making it like he don't care for black people, he racist, he that. But then we got to start talking about his accomplishments, like the One Step Act, like how he gave the most money to HBCUs, how he's doing the Trump account. Somebody don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about Trump X. They don't want to talk about nothing. They don't want to talk about how he has something that can implement school choice, but the state of Illinois and all the other blue states have decided not to join it. So we want school choice, and Trump gave away to give us school choice, but they're not going to hop on it. So everything happens for a reason. The year that Mr. Gregory passed was the year that Trump got in office, the year that everything just happened, the year that I had to go to Atlanta, so I had to live in a red state, and I just saw the difference. I saw everything. You understand? Like, I saw everything. And honestly, it was on an economic thing. I'm born in 1986. I'm 40 years old. So when people come to me, I want to start talking about things that when I was nowhere to be born or found or any of those things, I get it and I understand history. But I'm also living in my time. And in my time and what I see, I'm going to fight for that in my time. In my time. And I can go as far as back in my time to the crack epidemic. So yes, I understand the race riots. I understand slavery. I understand Jim Crow. But I also understand the education crisis. I understand No Child Left Behind that hurt us. I understand that Arnie Duncan and Barack Obama administration destroyed the rest of education that Bush did with No Child Left Behind. I understand about the mass incarceration and the division in our families. That's why we can't stick together the way that every other group can stick together. I understand the COVID scam. I understand the mental health crisis, the sexual abuse crisis that we have in our country that nobody wants to discuss and talk about because sex trafficking is $1 trillion business by the government. You have a man in the office right now trying to give us our sovereignty. He's trying to do whatever he can to give us our sovereignty, and y'all hate him because he's a white man that the media told you to hate because he's a billionaire. Because his family made sure to keep, because he wanted to keep the Trump legacy going. Because his daddy and them built the Trump legacy, so his father passed it on to him. He wants to keep his legacy going, and going ahead. And you mad? You mad because he don't show his income taxes? Why do I need to show you my income taxes? I don't have to show you my income taxes if I don't want to. Y'all made it. That's everybody got to show. All these stuff. He's a for-profit person. I don't have to show you nothing as long as I don't have to really show you anything. I'm not making no money. Y'all are nonprofits, right? Y'all are nonprofits and y'all steal money all day without paying no taxes. That's why you're mad. You're mad because you've been spending taxpayer dollars. You've been stealing taxpayer dollars this whole time and ain't paying a tax on it. So you mad at him because he don't take government money and gonna stop y'all because y'all don't know how to stop. Y'all legit stealing all of department money. Like, ain't nobody going. Trump wasn't going. I'm not going. Danielle not going. Jessica not going. Our supporters are not going. People who voted for Trump ain't going. People who understand the art of the deal ain't going. These foreigners who really fled from asylum ain't going. America is not supposed to be this ghetto. Y'all can talk about reparations all day. Y'all can unfollow me because I'm about to say this. Y'all can talk about reparations all day. But until you get that government and get the right people in there to really talk about the Freedmen Bank and the Freedmen Bureau and what it was about, you have to go red. And you have to go red because the true Republicans understand the Freedmen Bureau and what it was, and the radical Republicans. You have to go back in history. And nobody's going back in history because people don't care to read. They're lazy. They work for the government. They get their pension. They don't care. Everything is all over the place. Y'all selfish. Y'all lazy. I did. You too can do grassroots. You too. All I did was have a problem with the government and had all the evidence that it was the government's fault. Oh, y'all knocked down this building. Y'all owe my mother. Y'all owe my mother, man. It's our building. My mother put all this money in it. And absolutely not. It's a violation of the Fifth Amendment. These y'all laws. Y'all put these laws together. Y'all put these laws together. And I go by the U.S. Constitution. I just sued Delta Airlines on this same U.S. Constitution and won with no lawyer. Now we're over here, and I got all the evidence, and the government think that they're gonna just continue. The city of Chicago and they lawyers think they're gonna continue to pay off the county, the clerks, pay off the judges, to not settle no cases or wait till they die out. They wait on my mother and my godfather to die out. It's the craziest, sickest, weirdest thing on earth. But you know what else is crazy and sick? It's how people have an issue with my endorsements. I'm going to endorse whoever I want to endorse. That's number one. Number two is I did my own research. Number three is all the Negro leadership that we have on both sides do not represent me. And I refuse to put another Negro in there that's going to do the same thing. Same with these whites. I refuse to put another white in government if they're not going to listen to our needs. Hispanics, Asians, whoever gets in this, if you're not going to listen to our needs and be the public service that you need to be, because you can't be a candidate and have an attitude about me not endorsing you. Because that shows your true colors of how you really thought of us. You really don't respect us like that, but you know you need our endorsement. But every time you see us at every event that we are at, you make sure you don't speak to us. Don't speak to us. Don't say hi to us. Don't congratulate us. That's because y'all really just think that we slow. I know, and that's crazy that you think I'm slow. That's insane that you think I'm slow. And that's really crazy if you think Danielle is slow because of her looks and maybe sometimes the way she talks. Man, ain't nobody slow over here at all. Jessica ain't slow. I ain't slow. None of my core members are slow. Now we get it. We're there. But we're also entrepreneurs. So we don't work for anybody. We all have an independent mind. Says Ms. Jackson is retired. Nobody, we can vote for whoever we want to vote for. We can endorse whoever we want to endorse. Yeah, you're not gonna gatekeep who we gonna endorse. Real talk. You can, there's people that love Dan Bailey. There's people that love Rick Hyden. There's people that love Sheriff Mendricks. There's people that love Ted Dabrowski. Ted Dabrowski got the data. Rick Heidler got the money. Maybe they can work together and do something, but at the end of the day, those are the best. Those are two best bets when it comes to the Illinois governor candidate, and either one of them will win if they know if they come to who they got to come to, us. We made the city of Chicago fertile for you guys to come in and really campaign. None of you guys literally really campaigned in Chicago. Because y'all have so used to the Republican Party, the Chicago GOP, the Cook County Republicans, and all those people. They have failed you. They have failed the Republican Party here. So y'all be feeling like it's no hope. But we set the stage for you, helped you do all those things. Downstate riding with us. Downstate said, whoever you guys pick, we're going to go with because we're waiting on y'all. So I just want you to understand that a lot of whoever y'all strategists in y'all political game, who told y'all to stay away from Chicago Fist Red because we were provocateurs. And I guess we're provocateurs because we don't have to answer to nobody and we have every right to go off the way we go off downtown because the city of Chicago is no good and corrupt and they're thieves and we have no leadership and they're stealing property and they're pushing us out and our businesses and corporations is leaving. So if y'all think that because we're provocateurs because we speak out on that, then hey, all right. But then y'all have to circle back around because our president shouted us out. First time in history, you have a conservative, grassroots, black women's group, black women led group, because we have black men in it, that is out here on the front line for everybody. And y'all get mad at me for who I endorsed when it comes to anybody. And y'all saying stupid stuff like, oh, well, you're endorsing Jeannie Evans because she's a Mormon. Father Flager is a priest, and he's a dirty priest. She's not a pastor. She's not a priest. She goes to church. She's Christian. She's a Republican. She's an antitrust lawyer. You know how many monopolies we have in our communities? Do you ever know how many monopolies we have in these cities and states? She built her career off of going off of after breaking monopolies. Y'all worried about that? She come from the private sector. She come from one of the most prominent law firms in the city that goes after those things. That's just like a defense attorney. If you get a real good criminal defense attorney that's pretty much probably going to run for, I don't know, attorney general or something like that, I probably would hire. I probably would vote for them. Knowing that what they do, you have to find somebody like that, and that's not part of the system. I don't have to vote for somebody because they black. Just like white people don't got to vote for somebody because they white. Hispanics don't have to vote for somebody Hispanic because they Hispanic. Asians don't have to vote for somebody because they Asian. Now, would it be nice that you vote for your own people? Yeah, you want to. But if they're gonna be some bullshit, then no. Because I know a lot of people that are black that are for us. I know a lot of blacks that are for us. They just need to get into government. I know a lot of blacks that are public servants. I know a lot of Hispanics that are public servants. I know a lot of whites that are public servants. There are true public servants out here. Asian public servants. There are true public servants out here. They're just not in government right now. We have to vote by who can get the job done, who understands the U.S. Constitution, who understands that. I'm trying to tell you, all the people that I've talked to understands that our communities are under-resourced. They understand that we're on the verge of losing a little bit of that we do have. They all understand this now, and they get it. Like, man. Like, y'all gonna have to get it together. But please don't ever come. I'm trying to tell you this. Don't ever come at me about who I decide I want to talk to and endorse. Worry about why y'all voted for Brandon Johnson, because I didn't vote for Brandon Johnson. I wasn't nowhere near around. I just came and I just came in as soon as he got in. I didn't even know that there was an election going on. So I know I didn't vote for him. I definitely never voted for Tony Preckwinkle. I never voted for none of these people. I was never into voting. I just got into this after I saw what they did to my mother. So this political time since 2020. I'll say the end of 24. That's when I really made my decision. The end of, like between the end of 2024 is like, yeah, that's what made me realize like, yeah, you have no choice but to switch to Republican. You have no choice. No, I'm not concerned about the midterms. I feel like we got it. I feel like we got it. We lost the Bears. Got property taxes going up. We losing corporations, restaurants. Chicago's known for their restaurants. That's ending. You look at Magnificent Mile. That's gone. I mean, and they don't talk about nothing but abolishing ICE that they're never going to do. So no, I'm not concerned at all. Thank you for the super chat. But yeah, none of these people ask me how I'm doing. All I've gotten is you have the nerve to not vote for this person, or not to endorse this person. How dare you? Somebody said your organization is just like NAACP. These are black people. These are black people. Because I was supposed to go black. I was just supposed to, everybody that's running as a Republican, black, go down. Just put this, yep, okay, yep, that one, yep, that one. When none of these people come down to none of our events, don't be out here in the trenches with us. Don't go outside with us. Don't do nothing. None of that stuff. Haven't seen them. Are you stupid? That's that uppity mentality because y'all went to college and y'all think because y'all snooty and talk like this and talk like that. None of y'all. Again, I told you I'm staying with my sister. My mother's sleeping on the couch. I just got a little gig from John. So I'm stacking my money up so I get a spot for my mom. Ain't nobody offered us a spot. Ain't nobody offered me another gig. But you got the nerve to tell me about my endorsements. That's how I know it's something wrong. It's something wrong with y'all. It's something wrong with y'all, and it's called selfishness. I can endorse whoever I want to endorse and whatever I feel that aligns with our policies, our mission, and what we're going to do. And if it happens to be somebody white, cool. If it happens to be somebody black, cool. If it happens to be somebody Hispanic, cool. If it happens to be somebody, whoever I feel, cool. Just like you have every right to vote for who you feel that aligns with whatever your mission is. But right now, it's about the education system. It's about the education system, and it's about who is going to fight like they fought during COVID. See, these were COVID fighters. A lot of these people that I endorsed, they were COVID fighters, had big money to fight how they violated our rights. So that's what I look at. A lot of these people, you got ER doctors that saw the COVID scam up in Personal and walked up out the ER. You got people who was fighting for their kids because they were because due to how they were doing the school systems. I mean, people who were in great school neighborhoods, great school districts, and saw what was happening. We're fighting for our children. And if you don't see that, or if you don't want to see that, then you do not belong in office. I'm fighting for our kids' education and for the same rights, for the same opportunities that all these illegal alien kids just got. We need them all. We need all of them. Run it all up. We need all that. All that money that y'all gave to the illegal aliens, you're gonna have to allocate that to the the Black American community or the freedmen community. The freedmen community in Chicago, because I just don't understand how y'all was able to pay all our taxpaying dollars on some illegal aliens while you pushed us out of our communities. Ain't nobody talking about that. Ain't nobody talking about that but Trump. But President Trump and the Republicans. Ain't nobody else talking about it. The Democrat Party refused to speak on it. So that's why we got to vote red, because they don't want to talk about it. And they're not going to talk about it because then they would have to accept faults that they stole all taxpayer dollar money and then gave some to the illegal aliens. But you stole a majority of the money, and the other ones you got sent back to their countries, but y'all stole a lot of that money. And now y'all try to hold on to dear life for these seats because y'all thought that Kamala Harris had y'all back. Yeah. Wrong generation. Wrong generation. So the people who I endorsed, I'm very, very confident that they will do the right thing. And if they don't, I'm pretty sure they don't want to see my face. Pretty sure. But I'm pretty sure that the people who we endorsed, they're the ones. They're the ones. Because you gotta treat this as a PTA meeting. This is a Democratic state in a Democratic city. There are going to be people that are going to spend money, Democrats that are going to give money to a Republican candidate. Because again, the Democratic Party in Chicago is not the Democratic Party that was here when JFK was in office, when Richard Day Daley was the mayor, and his son, Richard Daley, Harold Washington, Jane Byrne, Sawyer, all this. Like, just trying to tell you, this is not the same. This is not the same. You're dealing with anti-American, brain-dead socialists who are influencers with no political experience, no social experience, all narcissists, and are and honestly evil and Santa and Cat Abagabaguza. You gotta be out your mind to vote for her. Out your mouth. But I hope y'all enjoyed. Thank y'all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. But yeah, don't bother me about my endorsements, and understand that my role model is Dick Gregory. And I'm going to do it the best way that I think that how Dick Gregory would do it. So we got to get back to community, entrepreneurship. We got to understand civics. We got to also understand that all white men ain't bad, all Hispanic men ain't bad, all black men ain't bad, all white men ain't bad, and all white women ain't bad, all black women ain't bad, all college graduates aren't bad, all Hispanic women aren't bad, all Asian women ain't bad. But come on, man. Come on. Like, the division is, it gotta stop, man. It gotta stop. So I appreciate y'all. Please enjoy. Tomorrow we're gonna be at the South Side Irish Parade in Beverly. Gonna be cold outside, but we're gonna go. It's all hands on deck. I hope y'all, if y'all voted, I hope y'all voted red down the ballot, and vote again. Vote for who you choose, who you align with. If what was it, Don Tracy? You align with Don Tracy, vote for Don Tracy. If you align with Casey, for Casey. If you align with Dr. Long, vote for Dr. Long. If you align with Jeannie Evans, vote for Jeannie Evans. I align with Jeannie Evans. Okay, I align with let's get monopolies. Okay, let's start breaking down the real issues in our community, and it comes by these monopolies within these churches and stuff like that. I'm for the people who is trying to get these people arrested. Okay, I'm for the people who understand what Operation Grey Lord is. I'm not for the people who want to continue to play politics. Nah. Yeah, Tiffany, hey, that's a different lady. God bless.